I'm doing great, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Today, the session is basically about, how do we craft a vision for Indian gold jewelry industry. You know that Prime Minister is talking about Viksit Bharat. In 2047, we complete 100 years, and that's where he's talking about, how do we become a developed country. That's quite ambitious, but even from our side as Indian gold jewelry industry, we just want to understand that how we can be a part of that Viksit Bharat, how can we elevate our industry. I have few questions which I'm going to ask you today. Starting with, in next 10 years, what do you think are the big marketing trends, market trends specifically, which is going to impact the Indian gold jewelry industry?
So see, one thing we need to understand is gold jewelry has always been a very important and an integral part of the Indian culture. Sone ki chiriya, when you see the old ancient Mahabharatas and Ramayanas, you will see that everything around was about gold. So the point is that in our DNA, in our whole thought process, gold plays a very important role. So I feel that with the growth of our economy, as an industry, what is most important for us to do is to make sure that the generations that are existing and are to come, the desire and the love for gold as a product, for jewelry as a product needs to continue. So in terms of the trend that you can see, there are two parts to it. One is that with the young generation, their thinking, the dressing, the fashion, the lifestyle part of it, that is changing. It is important for our industry to understand that change in terms of how gold, which maybe 25, 30 years back, when it was during our mother's time or grandmother's time, played a role of security, of financing, of insurance. Going forward, yes, when you look at the Western world, there was a phase of growth, and then there was a phase in which their importance and love towards gold for the general man kind of got reduced. Correct, but when they are going through a turmoil and a troubled time, then they again realize that how gold can play the role of an insurance and an asset. So I think that thing which is already there in us, we need to make it continuously a part of the portfolio. We must say it in a very scientific manner. We must say it in a very cool manner and not in a very traditional manner, because that's what the young consumer is looking for. So at one end, yes, there is a safety heaven, and the other end is the fashion aspect of it. And with being rich, with the country being rich, gold has to come across as such a metal and a commodity that makes you and feels you rich. You get it? There is a science of gold as well. When you buy gold, when you wear gold, then that makes you feel that you are becoming richer. And that feeling of yours that happens makes you richer. So we need to make sure that our consumers are just, the habit of buying gold should continue to stay. So use of technology so that the messaging reaches out to the consumer. The use of design, the use of technology, not only in communication but in manufacturing, so that things look much more modern. So we need to be just updated with the times, and then that's it. Just be at it and be together. I think that is very important. If together as an industry we are targeting and saying the same thing, then it will really, really influence the mind of the consumer.
Suvankar, you just spoke about consumer. Now, I'm talking specifically about the younger consumer, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, because in next 10 years, even they will join the workforce. I'm also talking about the global consumers. Now, looking at these consumers today, one of the things which is picking up really, there's a lot of conversation that's happening around is the customer engagement, the consumer experience. Now, I'll give you one example, Apple Store. Now, Apple doesn't even call its store a store. They say it's Apple and then this straight away location, Apple BKC, Mumbai. The philosophy is that they want to create a location which is an iconic location where consumers will walk in, experience the world of Apple, have a engagement with community, because they've set up a lot of seating areas, the workshop that happens to understand Apple products, and beyond that also. They have a highly trained staff. Now, when we talk about the consumer, when she has 1 lakh rupees, she has a choice whether she wants to buy an iPhone or whether she wants to buy a gold jewelry or a travel. So everyone is vying for her wallet share. From that perspective, how do we watch what things need to be done in our retail experiences to ensure that we can compete with these global brands and different categories?
Correct. So see, you have to look at it in a manner that your Apple product fulfills what need of your life. What Apple fulfills, that a travel experience might not fulfill, and what a travel experience might fulfill, that a gold jewelry or jewelry per se cannot fulfill, but what jewelry can fulfill, that the others cannot fulfill. So we have to, in a way, the consumer's wallet will keep on increasing. The consumer can buy a phone or a technology maybe once or twice a year. The consumer can go for a holiday maybe twice or thrice a year. And the consumer can also buy the jewelry once or twice a year. So it can be that we need to understand what is it that we are, that what part of the consumer need are we fulfilling? Are we fulfilling the need of the consumer to look beautiful? Are we fulfilling the need of the consumer to be confident? Are we fulfilling the need of the consumer to stand out from the other friends of theirs?
Yes.
An Apple phone can be owned by one and all, but the design that you are wearing, which is going to be the reflection of who you are, is that being fulfilled by Apple? No. Yes, when it comes to holidays, you are being fulfilling in what manner? You're having a wonderful time with your family, with your friends, with your children, with your hubby, correct? You're creating memories. But the product, the jewelry itself also create memories. And that memory remains forever. When you look at a jewelry product, you think of your mother, your father, the heirloom, the legacy, the beautiful moments, your birthdays, your anniversaries. So I think that we need to be very clear that what is the role that we are playing. And if we can keep reminding that to the consumer, I think we will be ensuring that we will always own the space and the mind of the consumer.
No, very well said. Gold jewelry actually does create a lot of memories. From the innovation point of view, technology and innovation, you did talk about technology. What advancement in technology do you think we should look at, whether it's blockchain, whether it's artificial intelligence, all different type of technology? What kind of advancement we should consider to ensure that the retail experience and the product experience, the new products through research and development, how do we ensure that we cater to this demanding consumer?
So I think that all the big brands, they have a lot of data. So using AI, using machine learning, I think many of us are working on data on what kind of designs, what kind of ticket size, what kind of products are selling and where, what is buying, what is the trend. Then using the knowledge of AI, we can see what is people looking for, searching, and accordingly create new designs. So that is a understanding of the market and the consumer behavior, and the need is something that AI can do. That is one. Second is the way we have worked with technology is we have created something called the digital gold, right? So you have the monthly installment scheme, but having a product where a consumer can buy for as low as rupees 300 per, and own a little part of gold, where I think in the future a blockchain can also play a role to really go up to the roots, because we feel that it takes a lot of effort for the gold that Mother Earth has in Earth to really come out and then become a piece of jewelry. It takes a lot of labor,
Yes.
the labor of the miners, the labor of the karigars. It is not so easy. So I think that pain that comes out, that has to be told to the consumer. So I think 300 rupees, 400 rupees, the democratization of gold. People should not think like what we saw in the first quarter. Oh, gold prices have gone up and will let us postpone the purchases. We need to make buying easy. Maybe you're not buying a huge thing at one go, but you can buy little and save it in whatever way and buy it together. So I think that is very important. I think as an industry, we've been talking to the government as well, that to make EMIs possible, because today a 1 lakh phone can be sold on EMI. So with I would say tracking, with PAN card, Aadhaar card, all of it, if there is so much microfinance happening, so why not gold jewelry also becomes a part of that? That will only enable not only a few consumers, but a larger chunk of consumers to buy. So that's what.
Absolutely. One topic which is very close to my heart is branding and marketing. Shubhankar, I do believe that we have all the right ingredients. We have the talent, we have the craftsmanship, we have the art forms. We have all this. Now, how do we create our brand as an industry? We talk about Swiss watches, we talk about French wines, Italian fashion. As India as a country, Indian gold jewelry, how do we create a brand for ourselves so that it resonates with global audience?
Right. So see, the handcrafted part, all over the world, there is a premium that one pays for it. unfortunately till now, India's handcrafted part has been taken for granted. You know, people have thought that, oh, there are so much talent, so much art, it's all over. So then why pay a premium for it? But the reality is, not now, but 5 years, 10 years later, this handcrafted will become rare. You know, so, and once that starts happening, then jewelry is not a product, it's not a commodity, it is art. So people will have to be told about it. People will have to be told that this you will not get, and it is a reality. You see that since we are talking of handcrafted, and we being from Calcutta, which is the hub for karigari and the fine craftsmanship, the way the senior generation used to take that patience, the time to craft a piece of jewelry, everything wants to be done fast. The new generation is not wanting to put that effort, put that labor. So we need to respect our craftsmen. We need to give them a position of artist in the society, I would say. As an industry, we need to give them that love. And I think that only will encourage them to come. That is one part of it. The second part is in the consumer. So through machines, you are getting modern designs, technology, perfection. That is what you're getting from machine. Those kind of things have to be told to the consumer that this product is cool, this product is beautiful, it will make you look better, what you are. There has to be a sense of incompleteness. I might sound a little trying to put something in the seed of the consumer, but without jewelry, you don't look complete. So we need to create that thought process. It was there. It is not that we are saying something new. Today, you wouldn't see a king and a queen without jewelry. You wouldn't see a god and a goddess without jewelry. It's an adornment that adds on to your clothes. So why not today's people, when I see them, that, oh, they are wearing nothing in terms of jewelry, then I feel that something is missing out. So I guess it is all our duty to make that thought and feeling in the mind of the customer.
That's great to hear. You spoke about artisans, the workforce that we have. Now, there are two sides to it, and I would want your response for both. One is the retention side, because we already have so many artisans, and Kolkata being the hub, you just mentioned that it's a hub of all the artisans. On one side, the retention of that, and second side is, if you look at NID doesn't have a dedicated precious metal department where the new students, they can experiment and play with gold or other precious metal. I wanted to understand that in both the side, how do we retain, on one side, how do we retain these artisans so that their generation, next generation also continue to create that art form which is so rare today. Also, in terms of newer generation who are interested in designing as a field, how do we ensure that they are attracted towards our industry? Right. So how do we kind of
there is this, like what happening in India is that there is unemployed youth and there is a need for people in the industry, but there is a gap in terms of the right skill that is to be provided. Yes. When you were talking of artisan, like you said that there are a lot of artisans in the industry, but unfortunately, not all of them are getting the work. If you see the artisans, suppose with time there can be more, but has the import of gold increased over a period of time? No. You know, your purity of gold is coming down. Yeah. The kind of products that are being made, it is more of machine and not much of handcrafted. So the role of artisans to make their own, putting that effort to create that piece is going out. There a lot of role is becoming to manage the machine or to do a base level work and not the fine intricate craftsmanship that used to be done before. So I think we need to keep on training. NID having a dedicated cell for jewelry would help the designers to understand how jewelry is being made. It cannot be a theoretical process. There is a practical side of it, or you can create any design and that will not get transformed into a piece of jewelry. Mm-hmm. But with various governments, ITIs, we need to work at the ground level. Yes. Artisans don't come from cities. Artisans come from villages, from the smaller towns. They are the ones who can sit patiently, focus and do their piece of art. So we need to go to the roots. Yeah. We cannot think in a very city-centric manner and expect things to happen. And initial level, today we are more evolved. At the age below 14, child labor is not allowed, right? So after the age of 14, when you're in class 10, 11, 12, they need to understand that jewelry making will provide them jobs. Just learning the language or just graduating out of college will not provide them jobs. So we need to work at the college level. We need to work at the school last 11, 12 level, and that will make sure that we not only serve our domestic market, but we become the jewelry hub for the world. And I think that the government and the industry needs to come together to do that. So that's the part. And in terms of designing, I think that there are a lot of talent in terms of designing, and be it NID, NIFT, all of that. We are also working with so many designers, but the designers, I feel not everyone has the industry connect. So we need to create such platforms, such competitions, look for talent, and that's how I think we all can work together to give them the encouragement.
No, very well said. You talked about the industry collaboration. I wanted to understand from you, when it comes to industry collaboration, we are a huge industry. We are highly fragmented, but we have there is an organized professional side of it. Do you think there is a possibility where industry can come together, work together, and create newer themes for gold jewelry, which will cater to the younger generation? We have best mind, we have our own learnings. If we can all, as an industry, come together, create a common themes, do you think there is a scope of something like this? It could happen.
Like for example, like you are gold kind of a thing.
Yes. If we can, so for example, World Gold Council has You Are Gold as a campaign, but it doesn't have a product at this point of time. The campaign talks to the younger generation, but in terms of a product, currently we do not have anything. So do you think there's something like a You Are Gold as a campaign, which we can work together, create a line specially meant for the consumer, put our might behind promoting it, and bring about the change?
Yes, I think so. You know, it could not be, it might not be a specific design, but the family of design. World Gold Council should come up with a trend book, because they are the ones who are supposed to come up with ideas and consumer research, right? What is World Gold Council objective? It's to ensure that the demand for gold continues to happen. Now, demand will only happen when the consumer asks for it. So if it is modern designs, if it is lightweight, if it is whatever you call it, so then those needs to be told to the market at large, to the manufacturers, to the retailers, and then once you launch it, and then the retailers need to be a part of the campaign. The retailers will start asking for similar designs from their suppliers, manufacturers, karigars, and with that reference book, anyone and everyone can start making similar designs, and then they can just be there, and then automatically I think whatever is being promoted will be available at the store. So it might not be that, oh, you are only doing it with a few limited people, but it will be at large. So the trend forecast or the trend book that World Gold Council should come up with should be the first level of messaging to the industry, and based on that we all can work together. Plus, yes, we want to work with a few retailers. I think everyone will come, because everyone has their set of customers, everyone wants to do something new, and unity and united we stand and divided we fall.
Yes.
So we will, I'm sure that will be a great idea.
That's good to hear. One last question, and this is this topic of the session, so I have to ask you, although a little unfair, but what should be our long-term vision? What should be our clarion call? 10 years, what we should be looking at achieving as an industry?
See, as an industry, we should think that India should be the jewelry destination hub for the world. We cannot only think of our market. We should make a brand India that, today we can proudly say the coming 10 to 15 years is going to be the golden time for India. If that golden time is in all aspects of the industry and the economy and in everywhere, then gold industry should also have its best time.
Yes.
So while we keep on innovating ourselves and be always on top of the mind of the Indian consumer, but we as an industry should make it reach out to the whole world and set a benchmark for ourselves. So like the way World Gold Council is supporting with the SRO, the way that we are all working on improving the supply chain, the responsibility aspect of it, because we the ESG part of it.
Yes.
People should not feel bad about something. People only should feel positive about something, and we as an industry should also proudly be talking about it. and feel proud about being a part of the industry rather than trying to defend ourselves for wrong actions. So I think that is the 10 years journey I can see, and it's a process. But if we set the goals in place and have these SOPs or processes in place, I'm sure within the 10 years we will reach the destination.
Fantastic, great to hear. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.